Hello everyone, today I will present about the topic defining supply chain management. So here our group members, there are six parts in our contents. So now let's move to the first one is the definition of supply chain management. It is considered a set of three or more entities directly involved in the upstream or downstream flows of product, service, finance, and information from a source to a customer. So we have three degrees of supply chain. The first one is direct supply chain, consists of a company, suppliers, or a customer involved in the upstream or the downstream flows of product, service, finance, and information. The second one we have is an extended supply chain. It includes suppliers, the immediate suppliers, and the customer of the immediate customer involved in the upstream or the downstream flows of products, service, finance, and information. And the last one, we have the ultimate supply chain include all the organization involved in the upstream and the downstream flows of the product, service, finance, and information. So now we have the picture illustrate the complexity that ultimate supply chain can reach. So next one, supply chain as the management philosophy. We have three parts. The first one is the system approach to viewing the supply chain as the whole and managing the total flow of good inventory from the suppliers to the customer. And the second one is the strategic orientation toward cooperative efforts and encourage the interfirm optional and strategic capabilities into unifying the whole. And the last one is a customer focus to create unique and individual source of customer value leading to the customer satisfaction. So we have the supply chain management activities. There are seven activities in here. So the last one is supply chain as a set of management process. Due to Davenport define a process as a structure and measure a set of activities designed to produce specific output for a particular customer on the market. And the second one we have is the post that supply chain management is the process of managing relationship information and material flows across the enterprise to deliver enhance the customer service and economic value through the management of the flow and physical goods associated information from the sourcing to consumption.
Hello everyone, my name is Ngọc Mai and now I will continue to talk about supply chain management versus supply chain orientation. The idea of viewing the coordination of a supply chain from an overall system perspective would interrupt the technical activities of distribution flows within a broader strategic context. What has been called supply chain management as a management philosophy is more accurately called the supply chain orientation. The actual implementation of this orientation across various companies in the supply chain is more appropriately called supply chain management. Supply chain management is the implementation of a supply chain orientation across suppliers and customers. Companies implementing supply chain management must first have a supply chain orientation. In other words, a supply chain orientation is a management philosophy, and supply chain management is the sum total of all the overt management actions undertaken to realize that philosophy. Now we move to supply chain management antecedents and consequences. Antecedents to supply chain management are the factors that enhance or impede the implementation of a supply chain orientation philosophy. Organizational compatibility is defined as complementary goals and objectives, as well as similarity in operating philosophies and corporate cultures. Finally, several authors suggest top management support plays a critical role in shaping an organization's values, orientation, and direction. Thus, it is proposed that the implementation of supply chain management enhance customer value and satisfaction, which in turn leads to enhanced competitive advantage for the supply chain as well as each member firm. This ultimately improves the profitability of the supply chain and its members. Next, we move to the scope. The scope of supply chain management is functional and organizational. The functional scope of supply chain management refers to which traditional business functions are included or excluded in the implementation and the process of supply chain management. The organizational scope of supply chain concerns what kinds of inter-firm relationships are relevant to the participating firms in the implementation and the process of supply chain management. CLM has also distinguished between logistics and supply chain management and acknowledged that logistics is one of the functions contained within supply chain management. The organizational scope of supply chain management as the implementation and the process of supply chain management across three or more companies, all of which must have a supply chain coordination. Now we move to defining supply chain management. Supply chain management is defined as a system with strategic coordination of the traditional business functions and the tactics across the business functions within a particular company and across businesses. Within the supply chain for the purpose of improving the long-term performance of the individual companies and the supply chain as a whole. A supply chain can be pictured as a pipeline. This figure illustrates a view from the pipeline from the side, showing directional supply chain flows, products, services, financial resources, the information associated with the flows, and the information flow of demand and forecast. It also shows the critical role of customer value and satisfaction to achieve competitive advantage and profitability for the individual companies in the supply chain. And finally, we move to the conclusions. This paper helped practitioners as well as researchers understand supply chain management right into what supply chain is, its requisite size, and potential effects on business and supply chain performance. Thank you everyone for listening.